the mid-season finale for the Nevers, where you never would have guessed what happened, because we're going Terminator, Raised by Wolves, ridiculousness.
Welcome back to AsArt. Today we're going to break down some theories, some unanswered questions, and talk about what we got right in our last video, or wrong. Yes, Nick always gets stuff wrong. We know this by now. But with us is our expert, Kyle McGill. Woohoo! The expert. He knows everything on the planet. And then we have John Blaylock, who knows nothing. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just joking. No.
We need to get Kyle one of those little pipes that has the bubbles in it, so he can put down his book.
Oh, yeah.
And a little monocle.
Well,
yes.
In this Fun Facts with Kyle segment. By the way, guys, we love doing reviews and talking it through and breaking it down from Raised by Wolves, His Dark Materials. We're big fans of HBO Max, and this is just a new show that we've been watching on it, and we've been enjoying it, so we just want to talk about it. Fresh off the episode, we just all finished watching it, and now we're just going to give our opinions. We really haven't studied the footage.
And we have varying opinions from what I can tell so far, so this is going to be an interesting one.
Indeed.
So spoilers up ahead, just in case if you haven't watched episode 6 of season 1. Please go back and watch all the episodes. They're a lot of fun, or not fun if you're on John's team and opinion. But so let's jump into it. Kyle, do you just want to kick us off, expert?
Sure, yeah. So, what, just like a recap sort of deal, or what are we talking about?
I was just thinking, like, you would say, like, I thought I was watching the wrong show at first.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. So,
wait, hold on, what am I watching?
So that's the thing. I thought I was watching the wrong show. I actually, like, hovered over, like, the screen just to see. I'm like, okay, it's the Nevers. I'm like, but then the moment I saw that, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, I'm like, yes. Like, this is what because, like, I remember saying it, I was like, Amalia's from the future, or like whoever body she's in, her consciousness is from the future.
Did he say that?
It is on the show. If it's not, then I said it off the air.
To me at least. Yeah.
Yes.
He must have said it to me.
And so I'm like, yeah. And then by the time we see the chapter 1 Chiron, like I was like, I audibly said yes out loud, because this is what I wanted. I wanted a fucked up future that she came from, because we only get these little hints, right? Like, we only know that there's not enough time and there's not enough space, right? And it's like, this is the dystopia I was looking for, right?
Not the one you needed, or not the one you wanted, but the one you needed.
Yes.
John,
yes.
I know you're on the opposite end. What did you think?
Well, I also thought I was watching the wrong show. I have an NVIDIA Shield Pro, and I said, the Nevers, HBO Max, and then it just started playing, and I'm like, no, you got Raised by Wolves. This is totally weird. It got stupid. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And then, so I thought I was also watching the wrong show. I'm going to be here, so we're going to be 3 for 3 on that.
Yes, we are.
Honestly, 100%. I liked the character development for her a lot, for Miss True. I thought that was awesome. But having her come from the future, I thought is a little bit too funky for the setting we're in. Not that it's bad. It's just I feel like that's why they did that, so they can have a spinoff in that future world, whereas I'd rather just have them be separate. But anyway, long story short, she reminded me of Sarah Connor. She had the same raspy voice as Linda Hamilton in the later Terminators when she's all depressed. I liked it. I just didn't like it leading into the same story. But I liked all the character development for her. I wish we got a lot of that, what is in The Boys, where you spend a whole episode just getting the character development for 1 or 2 characters. Is that right? I can't remember, but...
Yeah, The Boys, they'll like hyper focus on a superhero every now and then. But I guess you're thinking more like Lost. I don't know if you guys ever watched the show Lost, but I feel like Lost would spend time on like certain characters with their flashbacks and stuff like that. So,
but I totally like the time just developing a character. I hope they'll do that for other characters as well. But I thought it was a little bit weird. But at the same time, I'm curious. Nicholas, what did you think?
I'm loving it. I was right on the aliens part. So.
I give him quarter credit for that. Like
I knew it was an alien spaceship thing. I just knew it had to be alien. Oh my gosh, John, by the way, I know I text you. Do you have your phone on you?
Yeah.
Do you want to read some comments from our last episode?
Yeah,
this would be
good. Yeah. We have some comments.
Wait, what?
I think some of them are pretty relevant.
Oh,
so let's see.
The public has things to say.
Yes. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for commenting. Thank you so much.
Yeah, those are fun. So we had Karen. Karen, thank you for making it on the show. This is from 2 days ago. Ship is I don't know, something Minbri design, Babylon 5, ... Babylon 5. Doctor is still married. She came to the funeral with him. Lord Mason is more involved than we think. So that was 2 days ago. So you're right on this stuff.
Yes.
So Nick has some theories about the Lord.
So
and then let's get one more comment before expert.
Sure.
And then we have Randall one day ago. Time travels not from the past, but from the past, and possibly ancient aliens on Earth from Atlantis. Aquatic design on the flying ships.
I see that.
Fits Amalia's comment about where she's from and not having enough ground to bury their dead. So I thought that was a cool idea for
that
like
was a good idea.
These are pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I didn't do a great job
John
delivering your guys'
probably
comments.
likes more than what the show's doing. John's probably more on your guys' side than the show's right now. He probably would have loved an Atlantis spin. So
no, I love the whole future Terminator stuff, just not in this particular show. But
okay. Go ahead, Kyle. I know you were chomping at the bit to answer something. So
No. Like so, Karen's comment. Kudos to her. I wasn't paying attention at the funeral scene, so I missed that. But I actually looked up the alien race from Babylon 5 that she mentions, and I did look up the ships. It does have a sort of aesthetic resemblance to it, I'd say, right? So I'm like, all right, that's pretty good. You know,
nice.
Who knows? Like, and you know what? You know what I was kind of secretly hoping, like in my heart of hearts, that this would be some sort of crazy, weird Babylon 5 crossover, right? Like they'd really lean into it, you know? But I don't know. So far, we after having seen the GalanthI now, what they look like, they do not look like that alien race from Babylon 5 because they look more humanoid.
No. But the breakdown at the end, talking about the design of the character, was really cool. That was probably one of my favorite segments of the behind the scenes stuff. Because we are visual effects artists. We like to draw, do visual effects, all that cool stuff. So it's just really cool hearing about how they said T-Rex, elephant, and octopus, right?
Yeah, which is really cool to hear about that and see that, because I again forgot to watch the special features. So again, they're talking about something I did not see.
I will say about when they were showing the creature, I was half expecting to see like previous concept designs, because I really wanted to see the other iterations they'd done, and actually, because I actually didn't like their end result. I actually didn't like it as a creature design, but that's just my personal preference, right? Like, so that's the thing. I was hoping that I'd see another one they had iterated on and be like, oh, I like that one better. But we didn't get to see it. Didn't get to see it. But
well, then again, they were told to do elephant, T-Rex, and octopus.
You can do so much with that, though. You can do so many different weird,
So you're saying it's from the future Snuffleupagus is what we got. That's what.
Snuffleupagus.
We got,
but it gave me Stranger Things vibes, like the monsters from Stranger Things a little bit.
Gave me the Cthulhu, like it's benevolent Cthulhu,
yes,
right?
Yeah, there you go. Yes, 100%.
Cool. Yeah, so, as soon as the one was in the video, I was like, oh, it's a total Cthulhu vibe. Yeah. It's just so awesome how far-reaching his lore that he made has crept into basically everything, whether that's what you're watching or not. Like Cthulhu mythos is so ingrained in that stuff.
Yes, but I mean, can we talk about how awesome it was with how much content we got in this episode? Like, I feel like the show's been moving so slow, but we got so much information in this episode, which was fantastic. And it was the longest episode of the 6 episodes so far. So
now, do you think we got so much information because Miss True is such an important character and there was so many questions around her? Or do you think it's because they took the time to hyper-focus in on one person, we were able to get all that?
Well, I think we're going to get... Well, yes, I think that's part of what made it fun, right? Because it's this character where she's been very vague about a lot of things. So it was fun to finally get answers, right? Like, she was vague where she was from. She said this wasn't her face. And, she just so much to know how connected she was to the song we heard from Mary. Mary, right? Mary's the one that was the singer.
Yes.
So it was cool to finally get... it's just nice to get a payoff like that, right? Like where it connects and it's like, oh, cool, this makes sense. And, oh, this is how she's connected to Maddie, right? Maddie, or what's the girl's name? Malady, thank you. I always say Maddie. Maybe she's a little mad. No, I was kidding. No,
I like her character in that too, though.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yeah.
What a fantastic actress. Both of them are both fantastic jobs. Like how they're able to play these multiple different characters and stuff like that. Really good job on the acting there. I really have been enjoying it. But
by the way,
I
think
we're gonna get. Go for it, John. Go for it.
Oh, by the way, speaking of Malady, I thought it was pretty funny. I don't think Kyle, myself, or Nick saw the twist in the last episode with Malady and the reporter, and my wife, she was watching it after us, and she's like, I stopped upstairs. She was watching. I said, "Oh, where are you at right now?" She goes, "I don't know. I think I'm near the end, but I don't know if they did this on purpose. They just ran out of actresses. But this girl's playing the same person as the journalist." I'm like, "Boy, she figured out that twist."
Yeah,
she totally did. But I thought that was.
I didn't
know
see
she
it.
does watch our videos. So no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No. No, she has a better eye than all of us combined.
I guess
100%.
She's no expert, Kyle, though.
No. But John, I think hopefully this is going to lead to more hyper focus on characters in the future, right? Because apparently she's not the only one that time jumped, right? Like we got that through the flashback thing. So maybe we'll get a full backstory on what happened with all these characters and how their spirits or minds are intermingling between the other people's minds that they took over and stuff like that. So
Kyle, I kind of mentioned this to Nick right before we hopped on. And I wanted to see if you thought the same thing about this. I don't particularly like it when so her whole thing is she sees glimpses, just really quick glimpses, and maybe later on you figure it out. I don't like when they do, so in The Force Awakens, they did the force back, not a flashback. They called it a force back. You get flashes of all these different things, and you get no explanation. Some of those things were never explained. Why did you hear Qui-Gon's voice? That didn't make any sense. So you get these, they just feed you these little hooks that they may or may not ever follow. I'm curious if they're going to do that in this show as well. The good thing is, like Nick was saying, they fed us all kinds of vague things, but then they gave us a payoff. I've only seen season 1 of Lost, but one thing I heard about that is they added all kinds of like polar bear on the beach and all these weird things, and some of them they wrapped up, but a lot of them they didn't. And so if they visit those things as they answer them, that's cool. But if they're just doing it just to keep our interest, like what does this mean? What does this mean? But they never give us explanations. That kind of bothers me. If they're just putting it for the sake of, are we going to get answers? Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
First off, polar bears on the beach. Did I miss a scene? Was there a polar bear on a beach?
No. He's talking about Lost.
Oh,
yes,
I
yeah,
okay,
I know.
Gotcha.
And then he started talking about the smoke monster. By the way, spoilers for Lost, just in case you guys haven't watched it.
Wow, yeah, you're about what, like a decade and a half too late.
Oh my gosh!
Sorry, I lost my audio there. No, so I would say that given all those flashbacks that we saw, I would call it a synchronicity of both past and future. Past, present, and future visions, right? So I think that we know enough now by the time we get to that point when she makes contact with the GALANTHI that we can essentially piece together quite a bit of those little instances she sees, right? Obviously some stuff we haven't seen before, but we can at least piece it together in her timeline where that's at, right? So there's not really anything that's ambiguous. They're not necessarily showing it as fluff. It actually all has a purpose. That doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see it, but that's fine. We don't need to, right? Because it's these little puzzle pieces that are starting to fit into place, right?
And let me ask you this as well. So she had a whole different person that she was, right? Or that body was inhabited by before. And you got glimpses of her as she was following her past life. Do you think she's going to start to have almost a dual personality or a conflict of that? Almost like Malady a little bit. I mean, is she,
so I was
tormented by two?
Yeah, like that's the thing. I was on the ropes, depending on whether Amalia had died and Zephyr had essentially come in, right, after she had died and assumed her body, right? But she still has the equipment, right, her brain, so it still has residual memory. So that's why she saw that stuff. But that's just a theory right now. It also could be that she's actually like, maybe Amalia didn't die. She was about to drown, and then Zephyr inhabited her body, and now they found a symbiosis instantly, which I don't know which one it is. I like to think that it's the one where Amalia is actually dead, right? And Zephyr has just acquired her mind with her memories and her body.
Yes.
Right?
And that's kind of what they hinted at when the doctor said, well, the body wasn't in use anyway. And I like the idea. It's almost like transferring energy, like energy never dissipates, it just is transferred. And I like the idea. It's like, boop, just transfers over. But obviously we're just...
Why do you guys think names were so important in the future? Like I realized no one was like this whole thing, right? Like, what's your real name? And then like Zephyr, is it Zephyr? I think the name of the character is Zephyr. Okay.
Yeah.
But then she finally reveals her name at the end. But so are all these characters going to have their real names revealed throughout the seasons kind of thing? Is it like their X-Men names? Like, oh, I'm actually Wolverine, or, whatever are they?
No, so I think, first off, that was a great bit of lore. I loved that. And they do allude to it a little bit when she's in the hospital bed. Because she talks about that she thinks everyone is a sim, and thus they all have fake names, and that's why she would never reveal her true name, because they're all just sims, right? She's like, what's the point? And so I'm thinking that because of there's something about their technology that has made the true name of someone sacred, right? Like, because we hear that in the beginning, your name is something sacred, it's something personal, right? And it's something perhaps in this future that we're seeing that has become, something that you don't share a lot. Maybe because we're in, augmented realities or virtual realities, right? In which, everyone has a different face. They can be anyone, right? I don't know. So it makes true identity very important. That's just an idea, but.
I wonder if she is in a sim.
I mean,
we get these little hints that, like, it seems like time travel is something that happens, like, fairly often, or at least often enough to where they, like, mention it, right? Because they talk about time streams and, like, other stuff, and I'm like, okay, but we don't really get to see any of that except in this weird sort of way with the GalanthI, right? So I don't know.
And is it a endless loop where the like he goes and the GalanthI goes and gives power, and then it still creates a dystopian future, and it's like a loop where he keeps going back in time and trying to fix it?
No, let's not go down.
Like he's created a time paradox.
Well, kind of, because like there's only one way to travel through the wormhole, which is back. Remember how they were saying, like, he's not like anyone's coming through to our time. It's only angled going back.
Huh. Yeah, that's right.
At least that particular one. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if this is this has happened many times before, and he's trying to go back. Maybe he goes back to different time periods to see when's the bright time to introduce the powers or the things. And that's why maybe it changes every single time. Because that's another thing that's huge. She's like, the powers aren't supposed to work this way. Remember, she's like confused that people have.
Random.
Like, she was really confused by the power sets. And she's like, this is completely different from last time. So.
Yeah. So, okay, guys, you know what? I love it. We're spitballing. I love this energy. All right. So the thing is, I think because
we need to get him a pipe. Because remember, we need to get him a pipe.
Yeah, so there was Nettie, that was the hopeful one. She was the optimist, right? She's like, they're calling help, or like he's going away to get more help, right, and returning, right?
Yes.
And then I'm just gonna call her Stripe, because that was her nickname, kind of. She thought they're leaving. It's like lost cause, like they're not going to help us out, right? And I think what's going on is, I think both of them are right in the sense that this last GalanthI, his only option, he's like, all right, obviously inserting ourselves in this point in time was not a good idea. Like, we failed. But what if we go back farther and preempt that, right? So I think he's basically changing, or it is changing plan. I don't know if it's a female or male at this point, or if they're non-binary or whatever is going on,
both.
whether there's civilization. Yeah, exactly, right? So the thing is, like, I don't know if, so I think they're just, it's going back in time and, trying to start earlier, right? And thus, perhaps, maybe the temporal region in which they find themselves in, their powers manifest differently. That could be something to say about the landscape of time itself, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know you have a thought, John.
Looking at John's face.
I had it. And then it went away. No, it just went away.
Oh,
I like how both of you are just staring.
He did let it out. Like, completely
it went out. It went out to
So, I really enjoyed seeing. Go for it. Yeah, you're good.
So I'm curious. So this was a vastly different episode than what we were getting before, and there was definitely hints that she wasn't who she appeared to be outwardly, and so all that groundwork was laid. But we had the whole, Joss Whedon started this. He has a great writing background and things like that. This episode wasn't finished when COVID hit. They went back and filmed stuff. Do you think that at this point their branch, almost like Game of Thrones. They ran out of the written material and now they're going off in their own direction. Do you think they're kind of making this up as they go now, or do you think this is still Joss? Well, I never did confirm if he was the writer of the original material for this show. So it might be the same writer, all the way through. I'm not sure, but I'm curious if at this point they're kind of branching off, because it does seem like they're leaving themselves a lot of different branches they could go down at this point. But maybe the whole Terminator time travel thing / Matrix save. I mean, maybe this was all in there to begin with.
You know what's funny? I don't think we're going to get another big time jump maybe until the season finale or something. I feel like we're going to be stuck in present day again until like the end of season 1. I
don't think we really need that again.
Yeah,
that was just to establish True. Yeah,
exactly. I don't think.
I think it would
we
detract,
are, at
actually.
the end. Yeah. So it would be at the end, maybe where it shows us who the people are in the future now, kind of thing, or in the past, like who they are connected to or something, where it's like, oh my gosh, Penance is the doctor from the future, and or whatever, I mean, like maybe it's however they go about it.
Would you like to see more of the future stuff? I love future war stuff, dystopia. Would you like to see more of that in this particular show? Do you think we got what we needed out of that?
I would not be disappointed either way, whatever they decide to do. If they just showed us a glimpse, sometimes less is more, right? If they just showed us this, that'd be great. But at the same time, there's enough lore in there that I want to know more about of this future and how things. I don't think we'll figure out or find out how things fell apart. Honestly, I guess we don't really need to, right? We just know that turns out climate change. Actually happened, and 5.2 billion people died, which is insane, right? Yeah. So it looks like I was kind of reading on the writing switch, right? But to be honest, like obviously,
was there a writing switch or no?
I was frantically reading, but I can't get anything conclusive because I was trying to pay attention with what you guys were saying, and also,
sorry.
But the thing is,
come on,
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I should have, but I don't know. I would say that irregardless of the circumstances, like I'm willing to go out on a limb and give them a chance. I mean, because if they're writers, they're going to at least not necessarily, like, I wouldn't say like wing it, but they're going to, they're going to have the knowledge and experience to at least take with what Joss had made already and be like, all right, what do we have to work with? All right, we got this. And where does this trajectory look like it's going in like the narrative, right? And they'll be able to, do their good work and, hopefully make something that's captivating to the audience.
And I feel like HBO does a good job with their writing overall.
Yeah, I mean, there is times where I've liked when they expand the world out, and there's times where I haven't. Like, for instance, in The Matrix, the third movie was all, for the majority, being out in the real world, right? And I didn't like that as much. I liked the whole Matrix idea, that kind of look and feel of that. And I like the Victorian era that we're in right here. Another example of that is Westworld. Westworld the first season was all contained in that world, and the big reveal was, wow, there's something going on outside of this, and this person, the man in black and things like that. And then by the time you get to season 3, you're basically very little is taking place inside of the park. It's mostly out in the real world, and I feel like that lost some of its charm. And if it's not that Victorian era, I feel like, at least for me, that's what kind of got me about this story, steampunk Victorian era. If we weren't in that anymore, they might lose me. But then again, I'm also a fan of science fiction, dystopian, dark futures. I could just hear the Terminator music right now.
Oh, yeah. Unless it's something crazy, like I don't see them jumping. Unless it's something crazy, like at the end of the season, they all come together and they jump to a different time period or something. It's like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
We got okay. There's only one shot that hinted that might be the case. We might. So it was when she was having the flashback, and it looks like they're going over a trench, like it's World War I. And that's that's only 18 years away. If this is 1899, right? I mean even earlier, 14 years, right? Because 1914. But yeah. So who knows? Like that'd be
because I thought that was a glimpse from Zephyr. I thought that was a glimpse from her life, but maybe not.
It also no. You might be right. It also might be that. But I'm like, I took a look at the gear they're wearing, and I'm like, that looks
It's
Was it
vintage,
like a
yeah.
flat
Vintage,
helmet kind of thing? Like they had the flat,
like a
running
doughboy
helmet?
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw like those pouches, and it looked like
Oh.
I don't know, it looked very
It
World
had
War
that.
One-ish.
It had like a vintage kind of color grade on those shots too, as quick as they
Yes.
were. So that would make you think it's more old school.
But then again,
and they
like,
said
14
Thor's
years
coming
isn't,
soon.
like, yeah.
You know?
Oh, it's true. Yeah. So maybe there's touch in Germany, and it's like gonna be like a crazy war thing. I don't know. Maybe that's where like mustard gas comes from, and we saw the machine gun and like those like because like World War One is when they started using stuff like they had like basic tanks, they had the mustard gas, they had the machine gun, they had the sniper rifles, they had planes, but very like basic planes, right?
Yeah.
Like very
just
basic.
Zeppelins mostly. Yeah,
that's like the Snoopy plane, right? That's the red Baron, right?
Yes, it is.
The biplane, yes.
Yeah.
The
Snoopy plane. Come on.
The Snoopy plane.
Red.
So-
It's the
so
Red
let-
Baron plane.
So let me ask: do we know when we're supposed to be getting more episodes? Or
No idea.
is that undetermined at that point? Okay, so
No
it
idea.
might be a whole year. Or
Oh, no,
season before we.
I
Oh,
remember
no, that's right,
reading
you
that
checked.
it's going to be this fall or this winter. I thought.
Oh, perfect.
Like, it's gonna-
cool.
yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
that's
not
right.
super
You know,
long
we
time.
talked about this in the last video, and I was like, I prefer that than like waiting like a year and a half
Yeah.
for the next season. I'd rather do like 2 halves so they're closer
right.
together, so I'm not waiting.
keep
as
it going.
long. Yeah.
Just
I
in
think that-
time for the holiday season. You know. I'm down.
You doing that with your mustache fits very well. It's perfect.
And you know, it's going to be good too because there's no like His Dark Materials in the foreseeable future coming out anytime soon. So
Yes.
it'll be nice to hold this off with some cool steampunk era.
Right.
And, even though His
Yeah,
Dark Materials isn't steampunk, but it's kind of like the
How does that
alternate,
feel?
the alternate world around the same time, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I think the setting is really a fantastic thing, and the whole steampunk that has a very, very good audience. And Kyle's right, though. I wouldn't be upset if they jumped forward to the future stuff as well. I just feel like that would be tearing you. It would be almost like introducing another huge character if you introduce another time period, because you're going to have to introduce the time period, explain that lore, and then also you're going to be introducing characters there as well that you kind of have to develop. And that one of the big things that I feel like shows do a lot right now in movies is every installment they add all kinds of new characters. Like, well, I needed time just with the couple you already established, and so they might be able to do it wonderfully. I mean, certainly people have done that wonderfully as well to add new characters and really develop them. But
Crazy theory I just thought of. Okay, you know, last episode I said there was an alien in Lord Mason's basement. What if it's another Galanthi or something in the basement? Because we know there's multiple, and if he was like part of the flashbacks and stuff like that, and he's one of the ones that where he has knowledge of what's happening, and maybe he's after everyone's name. Maybe that's why he's like, you know,
What?
Yeah, after everyone's true name or something like that.
Well, we haven't established there's any importance to the name. It could have just been a cultural thing. I mean,
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They made a big deal about it in this episode, the name thing.
Yeah,
it was like a name drop. Like, my name's Zephyr. I can't remember the other.
Snuffleupagus.
I can't remember the other name.
Oh, man,
but like,
yeah.
it's huge, right? And then maybe once everyone gets awakened to a certain point, they start to remember their other names or something. And then when they all shout their name at once, another Galanthi appears. I don't know.
Oh no! He's
It's like when they put all the rings together, Captain Planet.
I love it. Keep it going, Nick. Lean into it.
Thunder,
Really lean into
Thunder,
it.
Thundercats. Oh.
But I mean, there has to be something weird in his basement.
Oh yeah.
There has to be something weird. Like,
Yes.
it's not a dog. I can
Right.
tell you that. If it is a dog, fantastic. They got us all, and it's like, aha, good job, sir.
You
It's a
guys.
dog.
Yeah.
It's like Gandalf from Bilbo and Gandalf from the Russian one. You got me, you bastard.
Yeah.
So since they've left a lot of avenues here, what would you like them to explore? Expert Kyle, do you have any? I honestly, my favorite explanation, I like when they tied into the real world, and Kyle's, if you guys didn't get the expert rant last week, it was amazing. Kyle talking about around that time period, sightings in the skies, you know, in old, you know, recollections in the real world. It would have been fun to have that tied into that actually happened in, you know, in the past in our real world. But instead we're going future war. That's fine.
Dude.
But anything you'd like to see, Kyle?
Is that doctor, the guy that operates on the brains, is that the old man from the future?
Oh, you mean the guy that's in the coat?
Yeah, the red. He's in the red coat, and he's like, Captain,
yeah, he's the
doctor?
true lifer guy. I
don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay, all right. I was because I think you think everyone from that room gets taken, right?
See, that's the thing.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe they can be from different time periods.
Because Zephyr was essentially at death's door. She was about to die because she essentially was committing suicide, but at the last moment was taken by the Galanthi, which, by the way, is crazy technology. Like that Galanthi manifested a ship. Like they're that I don't know. Like I was taking a look at that, and I'm just like, the technology they have is like ridiculous, right? Like did he manifest that with his mind? Are they the ship? Are they like a multi, like amorphous being that can like create their own form of travel through the cosmos? Like it'd be kind of crazy.
Then why always stay stuck in the ceiling?
You never know. I gotta say something. A lot of the imagery we see the Galanthi in, it looks like an embryo.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm kind of curious if that has something to do why it's in the Earth. It's maybe gestating.
Yeah, maybe it's like getting its powers back or absorbing energy again in order to jump to a different time or something like that.
It's like Lavos, Shout out to all my Chrono Trigger fans out there. But yeah.
But that's what makes me kind of think they're making this up as they go at this point is you have a Galanthri or whatever, and now all of a sudden it's a plane or a ship in the next world. It's like, all right, so did they just here's what's I don't know. Like it could have been completely planned out.
John, use your imagination, man. Just enjoy the ride.
Well, it's very rare that you lose a writer in the middle of a season like this, like they did with Joss Whedon. And the only other time that I can think of, at least in recent times, that they ran out of material was Game of Thrones, and you saw the shift in direction, not direction and quality. It just was way different after they ran out of that. So that's why I'm just having a hard time not trying to think what's going to happen to the story. Is it going to branch off and feel
also,
different
though,
at this point? Or
with Game of Thrones, I think Dan and Dave were just trying to move on to their next project too. Because they were like, we'll give you 13 seasons and they were like, no, it has to end this season, or eight seasons or whatever. And then because they already had the Star Wars commitment, and then because of all the backlash and stuff, they lost the Star Wars commitment. But another crazy thing was, so she didn't know who Mary was, right? Like the body she took over, right? Or the baker. No, was it Mary? No, what was the name of the baker's body?
It was Molly.
So, Molly. Oh, Molly. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Now I'm like getting all confused. So Molly, she was kind of just like, she didn't know who Molly was at first, right? Because she was kind of responding to the names and not responding to the names. It was weird, right? Like she sounded like she was really like didn't know what was going on, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, she was like, well, I guess I was a baker or something like that. She made a half side comment.
So who's taking care of the stepmom?
Stepmom's dead.
She is dead. I mean, this is Victorian England. I mean,
the doctor said she'll probably be burying everyone else.
Maybe. Who knows?
What if she got powers?
What if someone transported into her body? From the future, they're just bedridden old lady. Can't really speak. It's absolute torture.
It's like,
boy, that's a bad
spoilers. Just in case you guys didn't watch Invincible, it's like Robot. True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So do we?
Go on, John.
Do we have any other hints at who the older woman is in the wheelchair at this point? I mean, we don't have any other hints at what her whole story and arc is right now, do we?
We didn't get anything else since the last time.
We didn't get anything new. Yeah.
Well, there was no one down there. when she went down to save the Galanthי, and then all of a sudden a mass army of people came running after her. But there was like no one down there. Do you think it was set up as a trap?
The girl that saved her was the girl that could still levitate stuff, right?
Yes.
I didn't get a good glimpse. Okay, so she just happened to be there, even though there was no other workers. It was weird that it was all empty there. It was lunchtime, lunch break, you know.
No, it's just you always saw tons of people working and digging and stuff. I didn't think they gave breaks.
I'm willing to bet that they probably alluded to this in some way on episode 5, and we just missed. It was probably like a minor detail, right? Like, but you know.
Because they were fighting a lot of people.
They were. Yeah.
And another thing, what was the significance of that Zeppelin taken out? I know that's the hot air balloon that came out, but was that just a...
It looks like it was a fluke. Yeah.
Was that just a joke?
It was just a punchline. It was just delayed punchline, I guess.
The prototype. I was like, okay, well, what was the significance? The prototype, okay.
But I feel like that's like with her character, right? I feel like all of her things, there's always something that goes wrong, or or like the drill is still digging to the center of the earth right now as we speak, the first test. And
actually, I think I know why it was empty. Because all of the attention was diverted to where they were currently fighting those people. Right? So it's like, oh, we have a breach in this corridor, right? It
looked like they were fighting an army.
Yeah, like redcoats, basically.
Where these guys were like the followers of the cult.
That's true. That's true. Maybe
that is true.
So, anyways,
Shut up,
I just have questions. If you guys have answers, please comment down below, because we don't have the answers, and you guys did a fantastic.
We clearly don't. We clearly don't. Yes.
Is there any other topics before we get off this call?
This meeting of meetings.
I mean, because like we went over a lot of theories in our last video. So we talked about aliens. We dove into character developments. We really talked about a lot of different characters. Where this one's very True based. It's we're talking a lot about True and her character, obviously, because that's what the whole episode is. It's about True's backstory,
right,
or future story.
known to John as the reverse Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
But
so. I mean, it was kind of fun to see who she was before.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Yeah.
I mean, it's very sad. Her life was very sad before, and I don't know. I wonder if she's gonna end up talking, or I wonder what's happening with the brain, right? Like if she's gonna retry taking over her body, or how it's gonna work, or if she's fully in control. If Zephyr's fully in control of True's body. So
my dumb guess is going to be at the very end of the show, she's somehow or another she's going to jump back out, and that girl's going to have her life back, because they spent a lot of that episode telling us about that previous person. And I did like a lot that it reinforced, oh, she's a strong woman now, whereas that body was previously inhabited by this really meek and mild that just went along with whoever thought was supposed to happen. Like, I really like that.
Yeah.
But you kind of get attached to that character a little bit. It's like, well, at this point they invested a third of the episode telling us about her. It wouldn't make storytelling, world building sense for them to abandon her at this point.
Oh, I think it would. Because she chose to commit suicide.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
She chose to end her narrative, right? And thus that let in
a new narrative.
Zephyr.
That is true. We did get a full arc. We didn't get a happy ending, but that's sometimes better. That's true.
And it's, Zephyr's truly playing the hero's journey, right? She doesn't even want to be the hero. And that's always that's like the classic trope, right?
Refusal of the call.
Why me? I'm the wrong person and stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Now we just need Obi-Wan Kenobi to come in and be the ghost.
A mentor.
Yes, the mentor. And then we'll get everything going. We
need our item, and that's about it. Yeah,
it's interesting. Maybe we see a fusion of both, because there is, if any of y'all out there are students of Joseph Campbell's work, we have the hero's journey, but we also have the heroine's journey as well, which is a little bit different than the hero's journey, right? I believe there's like an encounter with the goddess, like all this stuff. So maybe we might see a blending of both, right?
You think the GALANTHI will be the goddess?
Maybe.
No, I'm just like, that's all we really have at this point. Like we don't have. I mean, she is the veteran.
She is.
I mean, it's kind of like the whole veteran thing too, right? It's like the experienced veteran that has to maybe she's gonna pass the torch off too at one point.
By the way, I kudos to both the actresses that play that character, because I could tell within like 2 minutes of watching this episode, I'm like, oh, that's Amalia. Right? Or that's who is going to become Amalia, right? Because their mannerisms and the way they speak is very similar, actually. I was like, nice.
No, it was really good. I'm enjoying the show. I can't wait to see where it goes in the fall. We will probably do a couple other deep dives just on some topics throughout the year leading up to the next coming up season, guys. So if you guys want to subscribe, it's been really fun seeing more subscribers hit our channel. Thank you so much, guys, for subscribing. It makes us excited to make more content for YouTube. And we're just enjoying the whole journey right now.
And check out Kyle's Instagram, Picos with a 0.
Just give him a follow. He has an awesome sci-fi series he's working on. As you can tell, he's such an expert in the sci-fi field and theories and all that stuff. So go send him tons of love.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next AsArt.